Today's topic, getting punched in the face.
That's true, bro. There's a lot of pain that comes with getting punched in the face, bro.
What happened, bro?
Um, so my story of getting punched in the face is just to run you guys back real quick. Brothers visiting from Florida, so we go out to show them a good time. It's the end of the night. We're outside, and you always look for an after. If you're an outside folk like myself, you always want to keep the night going. Or you're an alcoholic. Either way, you want to keep the night going. Um, and so, I'm looking for afties. I'm talking a couple shorties, a couple of friends. Like, hey, what's going on after this? I get, one homegirl slides me a number. She's like, oh, pull up, text me, whatever. You and your brother are good and stuff like that. So don't worry about it. I'm like, oh, nice. I appreciate it. Talked to, a friend of mine that I took out on a date. I was just like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. Like, how you been? And there's a moment, I distinctly remember like talking to her and like looking at her and being like, oh, like, well, like, oh, what's up? Like genuinely curious, like how you been. And the next thing I really remember is sitting on the floor and then standing up and being like, there's no way, right? Like, did I just get punched in the face, bro? It was a split instinct. And all I hear from the background is, how you know her? How you know her? And I'm like, bro, like, you were at the same spot I was at. What do you mean how I know her? Like, I could have met her today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, I get hit with what I believe to be like blind rage, right? And like my jaw is hurting, like it's a pain on the whole side of the face. And I would just like, you know, kind of start off with that question is like, how does it feel to get punched in the face? It's different when you're expecting it, right? Like Mike Tyson always says, like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. I already had no plan. You know what I'm saying? I get hit and I'm just like, saying that sucker punch hits different, bro. When you're just taken back by the shock. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember the pain, but I don't remember like there's a brief like 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds where I'm like, how did I get hit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just catches you so off guard that I don't think like I had trouble processing what happened even while I was there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, the pain that comes with getting punched in the face is, I think, a lot more psychological than it is physical.
For sure. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. As you were saying, you remember the pain of getting punched in the face, sucker punched in the face. I remember the pain of getting sucker punched in the face. And I've been hit in the face like a few times, but nothing was worse than the sucker punch. Like, cause there's just like, it's just unexpected. There's like this weird silence that comes after it. You know what I'm saying? That was probably the concussion. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I gotta see. Like, there's definitely no silence because, like, it's a very similar feeling.
But it's to say there's different severities. You know what I'm saying? We're getting punched in the face. Homeboy was well, you said he was drunk, so he was like, it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like the way I always tell people, I'm like, I caught a stray. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
at the end of the day, like, the situation is the situation. What happened to me is what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got punched in the face. Like, yeah, that shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I'm gonna look at, talking to a girl I don't know differently because I don't know if this dude's gonna fucking fly at the cut. Sorry. I don't know if this guy's gonna come and sucker punch me out of the blue.
Yeah.
So, like, now I have like a little bit of hesitation when I go to like talk to women at the club. You know what I'm saying?
Personally, I've never liked that environment because I have too much like background with hostility and violence. So like always being in those settings, like it always kind of like it's overstimulating, and it's like there's this twinge of something that's always in the air. Like, so I feel like y'all don't feel that. Y'all don't feel that vibration that like at any moment
it takes a spark. It takes a spark and it can explode.
And then it's to say where went to the club and then, have actually had those experiences where it's one thing, yada yada yada. Next thing you know, bro, somebody's jumping in to the whole fucking dance floor and it's a scramble.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? People throwing, people are like catching, trying to stop, like you know what I'm saying? And like maybe that has less to do necessarily with just like the party environment and the club environment itself, and more like damn, what the human element, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
But also, I mean, like, being under the influence in any of those situations, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I caught a stray, you know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm.
he still doesn't know who I am, you know?
Yeah,
Like, I had to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to homegirl a couple days after and be like, yo, I was like, what was that even about? Like, who's dude? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like, he's just crazy. And I was like, all right, well, if he wants to apologize or, talk to me as a man, that's like, let him know I'm like, I don't hold that against him. I get like, I've made embarrassing decisions while I was drunk. I haven't hit nobody, but have I made embarrassing choices? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like
I don't know,
I'm
man.
trying to Vinland Saga, trying to, I have no enemies. I'm trying to understand.
I
You
don't
know what I'm
know.
saying?
I think maybe like I don't know. Maybe it's the alcohol. Maybe it's not just the alcohol. It's a combination of alcohol with other things. But like that moment speaks to a lot of like I hate saying this, but somewhat insecurity because it's like who that could be this person's cousin for all you know. You know what I'm saying? There's a million possible
Yeah.
like outcomes that come before punching somebody in the face. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, he
So
he
for an
punched me, and then all I heard was how you know her, how you know her. Why don't you just ask me?
to immediately to punch first, ask questions later, especially in this type of situation, it's
Crazy.
just not
It's just not conducive, bro.
it's not reasonable, it's not productive, and I think it's indicative of at least at some level. Maybe it's just the alcohol creating a lack of behavioral control, but ultimately that's a level of behavioral control and that's not okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that he ain't get arrested or go to jail, nothing like that, like,
Yeah,
um,
man. He had 4 girls pushing him into his car or a car. and was like, you gotta go.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like, and shout out everybody that hit me up after and like took care of me or whatever. Like, bro, I had like a couple dudes hit me up like, "Yo, where is he? I'll spend the block." I'm like, "No, bro. Like, we don't gotta get out of
Yeah,
character."
yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
how
I know, I
does
know, I
how
know,
does
I know,
that
I know.
how does that impromptu violence
No,
prompt more impromptu violence? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't.
this is why cycles happen, bro.
Yeah,
I know dudes who got beef with dudes over accidents. Like, you know what I'm saying?
genuine accidents.
Like
Like, I didn't know
mistakes
that.
happen, bro, and to let certain feuds continue, it's a assured mutual destruction. At the end, everybody dies.
Yeah,
And nobody wins because
yeah,
everybody dies.
yeah. Eye for an eye, whole world goes blind. It's the same. It's the same concept where like you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciated that those people had that rage and that fire in them. In the moment I tell them the story or whatever, I'm just like, there's a reason you weren't there, bro, because then it would have blown up out of proportion. Or like, you know what I'm saying?
Some people be capping though. Be like, bro, I'll do this. You ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
But
Some people just
whatever.
want to say it just to say it. Like, bro, I would have, if I was there, man. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Some moments of hype up their ego, but that's not
Uh,
what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Then day, how it feels to get punched in the face, bro, is more shocked than anything. You know what I'm saying? I was shocked at like the situation, not like from the pain. Like, I was just shocked, like, what did I do to deserve this? You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And like maybe, it wasn't the first time that I talked to a girl that this guy liked or something. You know what I'm saying? And like I had to think to myself, I'm like, bro, like, how does this happen to me? Because I'm not
mm.
a I'm not a street guy or like I'm not a you know what I'm saying?
But this is the reality. It's a consequence of just going outside.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yo, like
You were outside too late, bro.
I learned that lesson as a teenager, bro. You know what I'm saying? A few random encounters with violence, and before that, sure, but like as a teenager, when you're more like just a little more physically able, you're a little more independent than you were as a little kid, right?
Yeah.
Encountering violence and then actually being harmed in the process. You know what I'm saying? I've been beat up like twice. You know what I'm saying? And what you gonna call it? Like it is what it is, bro. You walk that shit off, you go home, nurse your bruises, but you just learn, it's like you gotta be watchful, bro. Cause even one of those times, bro, I had played ball with one of the dudes, right? And he was with some other people. Next thing you know, shit escalates real quick. And it's like a one on two. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, you can't do much in a 1-on-2. Like,
And like, you know what? And it's wild because you think, oh, yo, but I played ball with this dude a few times. I thought we was cool. And it's like, nah. Just cause this and that don't mean somebody's your friend. Don't mean that at some point they won't necessarily cause you harm. I'm not saying don't build relationships, but you know what I mean? Don't be naive. Don't base it off a few encounters. And like, mind your surroundings. Cause that was another thing, yo. I got comfortable in a place I shouldn't have got comfortable. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You know, young, dumb, and yeah,
overconfident.
and overconfident, for real, right? And it is what it is, yo. You know what I'm saying? You learn your lesson, and you move appropriately that way, right? Because really, yo, sometimes you just gotta like kind of just be mindful. At the end of the day, it's a certain level of awareness, I think. But it's like you don't develop that awareness unless you have somehow like experienced that. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent, right? People wonder why Daniel don't like going outside, bro. That's why I don't like going outside.
Nah, man, everything. Like, I didn't understand it for a while, and it happened to me, and I'm like, I could see how that would turn you off from like being outside.
And I like going out and having fun. Like I was just at a dinner party yesterday, right? But that's like, yo, that's not a club, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a curated safe space.
Hey, I'm getting drunk. I'm having a vibe with the homies. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of people I know. You know what I'm saying? Some banging ass food, bro. That's a party, bro. You get the food, bro.
That's a party.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't pay for no drinks. You know what I mean? People just handing me shit. I'm just like, ha.
It's like, we lit, yes, sir.
It's a birthday party. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different ways to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And certain spaces I feel like such as the club are conducive to more predatory and hostile behaviors.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was in shock. I wasn't surprised. Like, I know that happens when I'm there. I've seen it happen to other dudes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen, like, I got punched by a dude. I've seen women sucker punch men. Like, I've seen, men go after, unfortunately, they're like, I've seen men go after women, whether they, whatever the reason may be, it's never right. You know what I'm saying? I've seen women go after women. I've seen women spit on women. And I'm like, no way that could ever happen to me, man.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, shit, it only takes like 2 words. You know what I'm saying? And as you flip the switch, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm realizing now that, like, because it didn't happen to me, I felt safe. But I was always in that hostility. I was always always in a room full of gas, waiting for a spark. It's just no one hit, no one hit that light.
No one hit that light that day, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember there was one time, there was at least, I had went out 2 times that weekend. One night, 3 fights broke out. I was involved in breaking up 2 of them. The third one, I was like, it happened like 2 feet away, and I was like, nah, not this time. Whatchamacallit? And then the next night, nothing happened. It was great. Everybody danced, went home. It was perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really just like night to night. Unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's how we get, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, once it's past like 11, once it's dark out and there's more than 2 shots, people are unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take that in stride, bro. Like, if I was hit midday out the blue, I'd feel different. You know what I'm saying? I probably ran after that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably run after him and be like, yo, bro, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? But like, I think because I was under the horse, I was just like, no way that was my fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no way, man.
Yeah.
But
if you ever been sucker punched in the face or you just got a crazy fight story, like this video, drop it in the comment. And we do not support violence.
We do not support violence.
Nope.
Do want to hear your take on it, though, if you've ever been sucker punched. If you are the sucker puncher, go seek help.
I wear my heart on the sleeve, but who does it? I'm in a generation where you just say fuck it. Love don't exist unless you out of school, pockets full of money, and you got no issues with your daddy or your mommy. But I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I thought about texting X a couple of times, thinking it would help. just to remember it was dopamine I felt at 5:53 or 6:23 in the morning. Where we did most of our loving in your bedroom. To be honest, to the public eye, all they saw was kisses and hugs. But behind closed doors, you talk shit all the times. Now you trapped up in my rhyme, got me writing all the time, hoping over time I can heal myself. Now over time I just hurt myself, so I just